Two best words in professional sports, Game 7. It all comes down to this. Many months of the MLB season come down to just one game, and we have reached November baseball. November 1st, 2025, Game 7 of the World Series from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Blue Jays, Dodgers, Max Scherzer, Shohei Ohtani, two Hall of Famers on the mound. It doesn't get better than this. Toronto yesterday in Game 6, runners on second and third, no outs. Thought they were in a great chance to potentially walk that game off or send it into extra innings and really put the Dodgers in a deep hole. And, Kike Hernandez shows up because, Kike Hernandez in the postseason is just, he's Superman, isn't he? Isn't he? Okay. Dodgers win Game 6 with 4 hits. Yoshinobu Yamamoto, tremendous as always. And here you go. It is all set up for Game number 7. Again, Blue Jays versus Dodgers, Scherzer versus Ohtani. Folks, before we get into the video, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below. Again, today marks the final day of our MLB Best Bets. Didn't know if we were going to get here, but we did. Replacing the Best Bets for the MLB on the channel daily. Starting on Monday will be our college basketball Best Bets. That's going to take the 5 a.m. spot here on the channel. 7 a.m. daily NBA Best Bets. So don't miss that going forward. And again, regardless of the outcome tonight, I will see you guys on opening day 2026. I think it's March 29th or March 30th, one of the two. I'll see you in March for opening day 2026. Before we get into the video, folks, again, make sure to go check out our daily NBA Best Bets, college football predictions, and our NFL predictions and Best Bets, again, all on the channel weekly slash daily, so you're not going to want to miss that here on Greedo Plays. Okay, let's go on now to the first of our 3 best bets. We're going to do player prop, over-under, money line for the final game here of the 2025 MLB season. First up, Shohei Ohtani under strikeouts. Guys, this is not really me picking on Ohtani. Not really. And I'll give you my entire, my thought process of the entire game. This is more so over under 5.5 strikeouts. And again, I don't know if this line's going to hold. I'm recording this video at about midnight. So I don't know if this line's going to move or not. But what we're seeing is that Ohtani can go anywhere from 2 to 4 innings. He is not going on full rest. And the Dodgers don't want to push back a guy who just had an arm injury last year, who didn't even pitch last season in their world title run. I don't love Ohtani to get 6 strikeouts in potentially limited innings. It's a winner-go-home game, so expect the leash to be super short for, again, both future Hall of Famers in Ohtani and Scherzer, especially Scherzer, who's 41 years of age, which I could be wrong, but I believe Max Scherzer has to be the oldest starter for Game 7 of the World Series on the mound, right? I could be wrong, but off the top of my head, does he break Greinke's record from 19? Because, hey, I gotta say it. Remember the last time the World Series went to a Game 7? Nationals 2019. Just saying. Just saying. Yeah, I got somewhere up back there. There's a Howie Kendrick bobblehead from when he hit the home run off the foul pole in Houston. Anyways, though, Game 7, Dodgers, Jays. I don't think Ohtani's going to get 6 Ks. And this really isn't about, can the Jays chase him out of there? I hope they do. This is more so, I don't think he's going to be given that much room to work with here. I'm thinking Roberts is going to manage this game very tightly. And this is not about Ohtani because, whatever, you pull Ohtani from the game and he still stays in the lineup, obviously. They have so many guys they can go to tonight. I don't know about Blake Snell. I pondered this the other day, and I think there's maybe a chance Snell can go tonight. I know he didn't see any success really in his last start, and that was on Wednesday. But, you've still got Thursday, Friday, Saturday. There's enough time that you could see, okay, Snell could throw an inning if you really need him to. I know Tyler Glasnow was the expected starter of game number 7 of the World Series. He throws 4 pitches to get the save. Yesterday, was it 4 or 3? It was 3 pitches. Obviously, I hated the first pitch swing by Ernie Clement. He's been hitting so well. He was 2 for 3 up until that point, and just got jammed on an inside pitch by Glasnow. I didn't like him being uber aggressive in that spot. And then Andres Gimenez, off the bat, I thought that ball was getting down, and I was thinking, okay, probably first and third, one out. Kike Hernandez charges it. It's caught. Addison Barger with a horrible read off of second base, and Kike doubles up Barger. So here we are, obviously, in Game 7, and, we only got 3 pitches out of Tyler Glasnow. They're not going to start Glasnow because there's the whole process of him warming up, and altogether, Glasnow, I would assume, threw about 25 pitches yesterday, because obviously I think the Dodgers expected him to throw way more than just 3 pitches, obviously with being no outs. There was potential that legitimately, if that game goes into what we saw in Game 3 the last time Max Scherzer started, Glasnow's throwing upwards of 70 in that spot. Again, if the game got that far, I'm not saying it would have, but you know what I mean, right? Glasnow can go today, and they're not going to start with Glasnow, which I think is smart, because you open with Ohtani, give Ohtani 2 to 4 innings, and then Glasnow can probably go 3. I know, again, he warmed up and everything yesterday, but he doesn't need to throw 80 pitches today. He really needs to throw 40, 50 potentially. So my assumption is they're going to go Ohtani, Glasnow, Snell. And then I don't know who comes out the pen last. Do you throw Sasaki again after Roki threw 30-something pitches yesterday, 33? I don't think so. Dare I say they might go to Will Klein today? I mean, you might as well. He was very good, obviously, in Game 3. We have not seen Klein since. I think there's a very high possibility Will Klein might be the third pitcher out of the, really the second pitcher out of the pen for the Dodgers. I'm serious. I think it's going to be Ohtani Glasnow, and I think it's going to be Will Klein. I think you might see a Blake Snell appearance, but Snell's only going to come out for a certain spot. And, you know, if that happens, if they go, oh, okay, here comes Snell for, you know, Clement, or here comes Snell for Jimenez, or Barger. Clement's a righty. Who am I kidding? I was thinking Barger. Barger, Varsho, or Jimenez. Okay, here comes David Schneider off the bench. So I don't think they're too inclined, honestly, to throw Snell, especially off a short rest. I think they're much more likely actually to throw Will Klein. So that's part of my that is my biggest part, honestly, of my reasoning of taking the under on Ohtani. How long is he pitching in this game? And on top of just the fact, okay, we have Glasnow ready, we have Will Klein. Other than that, guys, they don't have many other guys. I mean, they have starting pitching. They can get length out of their starting pitching. What are they going to go to? What are the Dodgers going to go to out of their bullpen tonight? Are they really going to throw Sasaki after potentially blowing Game 6? 33 pitches for Sasaki yesterday. Are they really going to throw Roki back-to-back nights? I don't know about that. I mean, are you going to throw Blake Tryon? You can't. You know, Robleski looked really good yesterday. Jack Dreyer's available. It's not like they have, you know, an unlimited amount of options to just throw out their bullpen tonight, but they have length out their bullpen, which is actually more important in Ohtani, in Glasnow. And I can't believe I'm saying this. Don't put Kershaw can pitch too. Don't put it past Yamamoto to try to get in this game. I know it's really not being talked about. I think there's a chance. I seriously think so. He threw 90 pitches yesterday, 95 pitches yesterday. Guys, in Japan, they throw 140 pitches a start. I would not put it too far behind Yamamoto to come out and try to throw an inning tonight. I'm so serious. It's the last game of the year, and Yamamoto's never tasted, you know, a World Series like some of these other guys. I'm just saying, I think there's a definite chance that could happen. So, regardless of all that, regardless of Glasnow, of Snell, of Klein, of Kershaw, Yamamoto, I don't think Ohtani's going that deep. And it's already been said he's going to be good for around 2 to 4 innings tonight. That's why I think this number is going to come down, and I hope it's still up by the time this video releases at 5 o'clock in the morning. But I think this is an easy underplay. And I get it. When Ohtani's on the mound, he's very good. In Game 4, Shohei started. Obviously, Dodgers lost. He had 6 strikeouts in 6 innings. Again, straight up, this is not a good bet if you're betting the over here. It's not. I mean, even when Ohtani goes 6 innings last game, that's how long it takes him to get 6 strikeouts. You're going to ask him to do that in 4 max? Maybe 5 max? I don't think so. And the the Jays didn't have the most success against Shohei. Early in that start, later in the start, obviously they came on against him. It was the Guerrero home run in the 3rd, and then obviously they started to pour it on in the 7th, like they've done to Dodgers starters time in and time out in this postseason or in this World Series. Again, I don't think we're going to get to a 6th or a 7th inning with Shohei. It's going to be very limited, and it's going to be, all right, get the first 4 innings out the way and pass the baton over to Tyler Glasnow. I'm going to go with the under here for Shohei Ohtani. This really, I think the Dodgers could easily win the game, and this would still cash under. Again, I'm hoping this line still remains when this video comes out, but for now it is under 5.5 strikeouts. It's at minus 115. Absolutely, I'm going to take the under here. Again, Ohtani, yes, he's a generational talent. I think the under, though, cashes here. He's good. He's not going to be good enough to get 6 Ks in about 3 or 4 innings. So I'm going to go with the under here. The Jays are still a very good team at the plate, and they saw Ohtani fairly well in game number 4. On to our second best bet of the video, we go to the over. I'm taking over 7.5 runs. It's not a lot when you think about it. We just need 8. I know it didn't cash yesterday, and we didn't play the over-under yesterday. We replaced the over-under with the Nerfy. I know the Nerfy wasn't at the best odds, but we took it, and it was fine. Obviously, inning-ending double play in the bottom of the 1st inning to cash it after Kevin Gausman looked like he was going to be untouchable early in that start. And really, the Dodgers, and we'll get into this in a second, the Dodgers had 1 inning where they were good at the plate. That was the 3rd. And yeah, the Jays actually only scored in the 3rd too, but they, were on the Dodgers' ass in the 8th and the 9th inning. The Dodgers had one successful inning at the plate. That was the top of the third, where, Will Smith doubles to bring in Tommy Edman after they walked Ohtani, and then Mookie Betts came through with the big knock. Mookie finally comes through, right? Regardless, though, I think the over is going to be fine tonight. This is something that we have seen time in and time out in this World Series so far. I think it's okay here. Max Scherzer, Shohei Ohtani pitching. I know Ohtani's, again, Ohtani's great. Glasnow's great. Historically speaking, in this World Series, Glasnow and Ohtani have not seen the success that, really, Yoshinobu Yamamoto has had. Yamamoto is the only starter that has been dominant for the Los Angeles Dodgers. Because look at every other game that every non-Yamamoto start, other than the one that went 18 innings, the Dodgers lost. I'm serious. Yamamoto, if the Dodgers win the World Series, they need to make Yamamoto the MVP. They need to, right? If it's Toronto, it's going to be Vlad Guerrero. Unless someone hits like a walk-off home run tonight, you have to give it to Guerrero, unless that happens, right? So to me, it's pretty simple. Yamamoto wins it for the Dodgers. Guerrero wins it for the Jays. And for some reason, minus 105 Shohei Ohtani is the World Series MVP favorite. Are we dead ass? Are we dead ass? I get it. He had that crazy game where he got on base 9 times. Yamamoto single-handedly won this team 2 games. I mean, whatever. It's okay. Yeah, the other game was single-handedly won by Shohei, and if Shohei single-handedly wins them this game 7, give it to him. But I don't even think he's going to pitch that much in this game. Or at least pitch enough to even get the credit for the victory and get the win. Regardless of that, though, again, my vote for Dodgers World Series MVP, barring something crazy in Game 7, is going to be Yamamoto, and barring something crazy for the Jays in Game 7, it would be Vlad Guerrero. Anyways, though, when I look at this spot, I think, the over should be fine. We see that, Yamamoto dominated the Jays in both of his starts. Gave up 1 run a pop in games 2 and 6. Other than that, he was completely lights out. Look at the other games in the series, though. Jays jumped on Snell both in games 1 and 5. They jump on Tyler Glasnow fairly early in game number 3. Ultimately, it's a game that the Los Angeles Dodgers win, and that goes 18 innings, and we've talked about it before. A lot of managerial mistakes, in my opinion, from the Toronto Blue Jays. Obviously, you needed to pull Springer because of the injury, but you pull Bo Bichette, you pull Alejandro Kirk. It was very questionable what Toronto did in that baseball game. Regardless of that, though, they got on Tyler Glasnow. Glasnow only pitches 4 2/3 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs. They get on Treinen later in the game as well. But they forced Glasnow out of the game before 5 innings. And same thing when you look at Ohtani. I mean, Guerrero gets on Ohtani. Multiple runs are charged to Ohtani in the top of the 7th when the Jays score 4 to really put that game out of reach and go up 6-1 in game number 4. These are 2 guys that the Jays have seen just fine. And in the rare case we see a Blake Snell, they've seen Snell perfectly fine too. I'm serious. I'm serious about Will Klein. I think Will Klein, second time around, part of, again, and I will give all the credit in the world to how great Will Klein was in game number 3. I mean, that was historic stuff. He's earned himself an extension, a big-time extension with the Dodgers. He's going to be a prominent player, I believe, in their bullpen for a very long time, just because of that, one game. I mean, regardless if it's with the Dodgers or somewhere else, I'm serious. Will Klein's going to get his 10 years in the majors and get, his pension. I'm so serious. That one game just did it for him. He's going to be around in a bullpen for the rest of his career in the major leagues. Regardless if that's, rotting in Pittsburgh or rotting in Chicago for the White Sox, he'll be somewhere until he's done playing baseball, unless he completely loses it, okay? That one game in the World Series on prime time on Fox at 1 o'clock in the morning, that made his career. He's set for life now. He's going to get paid. And so I think there's a very good chance he plays and pitches tonight if the Dodgers need him. Here's the thing, though. How good is Klein going to be the second time around if he potentially comes in? I mean, part of what made him so great was the shock factor of, who's this guy? And this is the 26th man on the roster who wasn't really even supposed to be here, right? Hasn't really pitched in that many big spots for the Dodgers just as of yet. And at the same time, I mean, he was facing, the Buffalo Bison AAA lineup after the Jays pull 3 of their starters. Now, not to put anything against Will Klein, that was very impressive and one of the biggest unsung hero moments you're going to possibly find. But how well Will Klein really pitched the second time out here against Toronto after the Jays lineup has already seen him and now already prepared for him. And now there's tape on Will Klein, right? People know who that guy is. So I'm not saying, again, that's going to be a major factor of the game, but just put that in the back of your mind as well when you think about the over. Max Scherzer is pitching for the Toronto Blue Jays. Now, what's going to hold the Dodgers back the most here in Game 7 is undoubtedly their bats. I don't care that they won last night. They still only scored 3 runs. And yeah, Toronto scored 1. The Jays had double the amount of hits Los Angeles had. And good on the Dodgers. They won the game. Toronto had 2nd and 3rd with no outs in the bottom of the 9th inning. And give credit to the Dodgers defense. Give credit to Kike Hernandez, Tyler Glasnow. They made the plays and got out of that in 3 pitches after it looked like, holy crap, the Jays might get out of it. And Justin Dean, I mean, again, it would have been, I believe, regardless if Dean picked that ball up or not, it was going to be a dead ball anyways. But Justin Dean going up and putting his hands up in the air, I mean, I see some people are pissed about it. If you watch the videos, I'm not a fan of the Dodgers. I thought that was fair. I mean, that's just how it works. That's how baseball works. If a ball gets wedged somewhere, it's a double. It's a ground rule double. I mean, that could have happened down the line in right field. The ball, could have ricocheted out, and it could have, and that could have been a situation where the ball goes down the line in right field and would have ricocheted out to be a single, but if it gets wedged, it's still a double anyway. That's just how baseball works. It was an unfortunate, yes. Does that really change how the game is played? Maybe a little bit, because that run scores. I think Barger gets to 3rd, and maybe it changes some stuff. It probably does change some stuff, but it is what it is. It's baseball. It sucks. It is what it is. Regardless of that, though, the Dodgers had 3 runs the entire game, and they all came in 1 inning. And I get it, it's Max, and we started off the postseason, or at least Max Scherzer's postseason run in 2025, saying, oh boy, yeah, they got to go to him, because I don't think they can pitch Chris Bassett, who, by the way, Bassett's given the Jays really good innings at the bullpen in this World Series, but we said, yeah, you probably can't go Bassett, but you got to go Max. Just 4 starts ago, Max Scherzer had the worst start of his career in Kansas City against the Royals, and it's not like Kansas City was some juggernaut this year. It was a game the Royals ended up beating Toronto 20-1. Max went in there, threw for 2 outs, gave up 7 hits and 7 runs, 2 home runs and a walk in that start. And here we go, 4 starts later, he's starting Game 7 of the World Series to try to win his 3rd World Series championship with 3 different teams. It's actually absurd. Scherzer, this is the 4th time Scherzer's made multiple starts in a World Series. It's crazy. I mean, it goes on to the legacy of what Max is doing. He's 41, and can he deliver another memorable moment? I don't think this is a swan song, but because, everything is indicated Scherzer's going to pitch next season, but if Max goes out and wins a Game 7 for the Jays, what better swan song can you find than this? Or maybe, you know what? No, I know. Going to D.C. next year and playing for Blake Butera and the Washington Nationals, youngest manager in baseball since 1950, 33-year-old manager Blake Butera. Scherzer would be 9 years older than the guy. You know what? I'll have Max run the show with Blake Butera. Scherzer can be a player coach. I'll be locked in for that. That's not going to happen. Why would he go back to the Nationals? I can hope, though, right? Ooh, if he goes to Detroit next year, he better not go to Detroit. Regardless, just because I don't want to see him retire there. Nothing against the Tigers. He's a National. He's going to the Hall of Fame as a National. Anyways, though, can Scherzer deliver the one last big moment? Look at the start he had in Game 3. It wasn't bad. Max, 4 1/3, 5 hits, 3 runs. The Jays kind of implode after he gets pulled, and obviously they got back into it, and they tie it and send that game into extra innings. They were always ahead. They got him runs, and then it was tied 4-4, and then they scored 1, and then Ohtani homered, because why do you pitch to Ohtani? The base is empty. It's whatever. Can Scherzer get out of jams? I don't know. I think Max is going to give up runs. It's just, what will we get out of gritty Max Scherzer, typical Mad Max performance? How is he going to will his way to an impressive start? Again, what I can almost guarantee you is that Max is going to give up a run. It's how does Max manage, though, that difficulty and manage that adversity? I don't know. We'll see. There's going to be a very short leash on the guy. Will we see a Trey Savage appearance? I don't think he can pitch, and they probably don't want to burn their rookie in a spot like this. Shane Bieber, I believe, is going to be available, and he pitched very well in Game 4, so be on the lookout, I think, for Shane Bieber. Other than that, it's just, full-on bullpen for the Jays. You're looking at Louis Varland, Sir Anthony Dominguez, Hoffman, literally anybody's to their disposal tonight, but it's going to start with Max. Regardless of that, though, we're going to get a game where we're probably going to see the Dodgers pen eventually, and we question, too, okay, after Ohtani, after Glasnow, who's next? Right? There's going to be some potential for runs coming out the bullpen, and for the Jays, too. Love Max, but I think Max is going to give up some runs, so over 7.5 does feel fine here. Give me the over in Game 7 of the World Series before we go on to our final best bet of the 2025 Major League Baseball season. Let's go. Who will win Game 7 of the World Series? Actually, I'm picking the Nerfy instead. We're not giving a winner. I'm joking. We're taking the Toronto Blue Jays. Yeah. taking the Toronto Blue Jays to win the World Series. Max Scherzer will come through. This only will add to the legacy of one of the greatest pitchers of all time. His legacy will forever be etched in Cooperstown, but this is one more shining moment for Mad Max. Scherzer's going to give the Jays a solid 5 innings, turn it over to the bullpen and potentially Shane Bieber, and the Blue Jays are going to jump on Shohei Ohtani. Additionally, Ohtani, I know again, Ohtani had one game in Game 4 of the World Series against the Brewers in the most low pressure situation ever. Not to discredit Ohtani for what he did with the 3 home runs against Milwaukee and shutting down and shutting out the Brewers as well in Game 4. But other than that one appearance, Ohtani's been so bad at the plate when he's pitched this season. That's evident in game number 4. Guys, Ohtani set a record in game number 3 of the World Series for reaching base 9 times in a World Series game. An all-time record. What do you do in game 4? Because even in a game where he had to pitch 6 innings, what did Ohtani do at the plate? He went 0 for 3. Walked his first at-bat, struck out, roll over, ground out in the 7th. He goes 0 for 3. Ohtani's bat is diminished when he throws. That's the truth in my opinion. And yesterday, the Dodgers switched up the lineup. They go to Mookie Betts in the 4 spot. It kind of worked, so I assume they're going to keep it that way. My prediction, they will literally throw the same lineup out there. Ohtani, Smith, Freeman, Betts, Teoscar, Pages. Pages came in relief for defensive reasons. But Teoscar, Muncy, Kike, Edman, Miguel Rojas. Yes, Miguel Rojas hasn't gotten a hit in ages, but probably going to be their 9 guy tonight. Okay. All-time glue guy, Miguel Rojas. He did make some nice defensive plays. That bare hand was very nice. Regardless of that, you're going to see the same lineup for the Dodgers. Jays, you're going to see same type of deal going on again, I believe. I don't really think they're going to make an adjustment either, because why would they? George Springer is healthy. He had another big-time hit. He drove in the only run last night for the Toronto Blue Jays. Again, that was right after the Dodgers put up 3. George Springer brings one in, and that's why that damn double up of Andres Gimenez or Barger getting doubled up at second base was so brutal. It's because George Springer was standing on the on-deck circle. If you just don't get tagged up there, I mean, still regardless, base hit ties the game. George Springer has a chance to walk off the World Series and win. I mean, we were building up for a very special moment, and Toronto just blew it. We'll see if we get another special moment in game number 7. But if I'm Toronto, I keep the same lineup out there, same order, same everything. I'm going Springer, Lucas, Guerrero, Bichette, Varsho, Kirk, Barger, Clement, Jimenez. That gives you the best possible chance to win. That's what I'm sticking with there. There's really no easy outs in that lineup. Maybe you can argue a little bit of Andres Gimenez is an easy out. Don't forget what he did in Seattle in the ALCS, and I believe Jimenez is very due for another big moment. The second the Dodgers go to a lefty, if they go to a lefty, expect again Davis Schneider. I hope they don't go Miles Straw, man. But expect those right-handed bats to come in if we see a Blake Snell appearance. I'm 50-50 on that, but if they do, again, expect Jays to platoon and manage that properly. But I look at Los Angeles, and the biggest problem with them still is their bats. Yeah, they scored, and okay, the Jays scored 1 run. I'm not too concerned about Toronto's bats. Yamamoto's been the only guy that's shut them down so far. No problems with Ohtani, no problems with Glasnow, no problems with Blake Snell. The only game the Dodgers have won without Yamamoto was with Tyler Glasnow in the bump, and yet that was a game that went 18 innings. I mean, the Dodgers cannot rely on another 18-inning victory. You need a very good start out of your starter, and I get it, right? Scherzer went out there, gave up a home run to Teoscar Hernandez, gave up a home run to Shohei Ohtani. Now it's Ohtani, though, and Scherzer going, and I've seen the Jays already execute and punish Ohtani before. Can the Dodgers get on Scherzer? Max Scherzer in a big-time moment, clutch-time moment, I gotta go with Mad Max. I think Mad Max is gonna step up to the occasion. I'm so serious about that. And it's not like the Jays need, a prime 2016, 2017 Max Scherzer performance where he's gonna go pump 8 innings. No, they need 5 really good innings out of Max. Hell, they really only need 4. Because I think Bieber can give them 2 or 3, and then you go to whoever in the bullpen. Again, all bets are off. I mean, hey, Chris Bassett's pitched well in the postseason. I don't know if he's a Game 7 type guy, but you have pitchers if necessary, again, to relieve Scherzer or potentially Bieber after him. My biggest worry about the Dodgers, and the reason why I'm not taking Los Angeles, is not because I don't like the Dodgers, is look at their lineup. I can't trust a lineup that's batting Miguel Rojas. And I get he's your glue guy, and sure, you were already batting an automatic out with Andy Pajes in the 9 spots. You just replace him with Rojas. But, I mean, Ohtani's going to be severely, undermined. Is undermined the right word for this? He's going to be severely affected, though, by the fact that he has to start tonight. I think if I'm the Dodgers, and I know you have to start Ohtani, because it's going to be, it makes sense, right? But, if I want Ohtani to be at his best hitting-wise, I would rather start Glasnow. I would, because I'd rather Ohtani completely be, focusing on his at-bats, and if you need to, relieve, if you need him to come in at relief, or in relief, whatever. You're starting Ohtani, though, and I know why you have to, because if you start Glasnow, regardless of the fact Glasnow only threw 3 pitches yesterday, it's not like Glasnow can turn in a full start. It's not like he can. He went out there, he was, 100% ramped up, like, he was throwing, he was throwing 100%, obviously. You can't start him you can't, finish the game with him and then start him the night after, if you want 4 or 5 innings out of him, right? You gotta leave Glasnow, in the pen as the fear of the unknown. Oh, what happens when Shohei comes out? Here comes Glasnow, and then you're thinking, okay, how many can Glasnow go? But you set yourself up way better if you go Glasnow second. But in terms of an Ohtani hitting perspective, I think this is actually better for Toronto that Ohtani starts, because we've seen so many times. And yes, the one outlier is that Brewers game in game 4. Take that out of the equation. Ohtani's not been a good bat this season when he starts. So I think we put that out there. The Dodgers lineup still has not been good. If Toronto can put up 5 runs, they're winning this game. If they put up 5 runs, they're going to win. Because the Dodgers win yesterday, sure. The Dodgers in the last 3 games have scored 6 combined runs. 6 runs in 27 innings. And yeah, they got by because Yamamoto pitched just that well. And the Jays couldn't get to Yamamoto like I thought, like the Phillies did, obviously, in game number 3 of the NLCS. And like I thought Toronto was going to potentially be able to do. That's okay. They've been shut down by one guy this entire postseason, and it's Yoshinobu Yamamoto. I think we see a similar, honestly, script to game number 3. Scherzer goes about 4 or 5 innings, gives up a couple runs. Jays jump on Ohtani/Glasnow, and then it's up to the Pens. I think this time around, instead of it going 18 innings and going to extras and just a prolonged marathon game, I believe Toronto is going to win by 1 or 2 runs. I think Toronto scores 5. I think the Dodgers score 3. And the Toronto Blue Jays are your World Series champions in 2025. 5-3. I think Vladimir Guerrero has a big moment. Didn't really see a big moment out of Vladdy in game number 6. And I think George Springer, he's just been that guy for that team all year long, batting the leadoff spot. I believe Springer goes yard. I think Springer goes yard, honestly, in the first inning. Here's how I think the game starts. Scherzer's going to go 1-2-3, or at least Scherzer's going to get out of a jam in the first, or regardless of what it is, Scherzer will get out the first unscathed. Immediately, George Springer is going to hit a home run, setting the pace and setting the tone for the rest of the game. Ohtani's going to get taken deep immediately by Springer, and here come the Jays right out of the gates. So I'm going to go Toronto Blue Jays to become the 2025 World Series champions. They will win 5-3. They will take, they will become the world champs of Major League Baseball here in 2025. The Dodgers will be back, obviously, in 2026, but with potentially Kyle Tucker, Murakami, and everyone. Oh, man. So excited for that. But we will wait for that. Actually, I don't know. If the Dodgers get Murakami, I'm actually not too... whatever. He can't really play third base defensively. Regardless, folks, I'm taking the Toronto Blue Jays to win the World Series here in 2025, and that does it for our MLB Best Bets here in 2025 as well. Again, folks, I just want to thank you guys for watching every single day on the channel. Again, like I said yesterday, long season, obviously. It's the longest season in all of sports. We started this thing in March, and we don't have the longest off season either. I mean, we're just taking, technically, we had a video here in November, so we're just taking December, January, February. We only have 3 months in total with no baseball because there is 1 game in November. So really only 3 full months off of baseball, and we will be back in March for opening day 2026. And the Nats, I'm telling you, we're going to be back. How about Blake Butera, our new manager? Anyways, folks, thank y'all for watching our best bets here at the MLB in 2025. Again, daily college basketball best bets, daily NBA best bets will take us throughout the winter and into the spring. Again, I'll see you guys on opening day 2026 in March. Folks, thank y'all for watching. Make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more. And Mamba, forever.